Good afternoon. This is Cousin Russ. I'm having my office hours, and I don't know if June is there, but she left a comment. Hi, June. How are you? I'm getting ready to start, but let me put a banner up that says, let me know where you're viewing this from, and are you taking part in RootsTech 2022? If you are here because of Family Tree Maker, uh, are you a user of Family Tree Maker? Anyhow, those are the three items that I thought I would put out to you. And I see a couple people just joined, so put in the chat where you're viewing this from. Let's get rid of that fun and games, and don't forget to look at the. You can look at the uh, description. Hi, June. How are you? Good to see you here. As I go through what I'm going to go through, if you have a question, just put it in the comments and I'll try to answer them as I am able. Okay, so here we go. I'm bringing up Family Tree Maker, New England. Yeah, I know. And you've got a telephone pole farm out near in your neck of the woods. That's my joke. I have one near me. Anyhow, what I did today, earlier, and yesterday, I did a web merge from an ancestry record group, Find the Grave Index, and some data was brought in, and I need to go back and clean it up. Now, in the earlier couple of videos that I did, I cleaned up the primary person that I did the web merge on. So what I'm going to do is go to the people workspace tree view, and I'm going to reapply a filter that I've been working on in preparation for the 1950 U.S. federal census. So I'm going to retrieve that filter, which is the 1950 preparation. And these are the 16 people whose profiles that I am working on. I expect to be able to find them in the 1950 census. But I haven't cleaned up these profiles to make sure that I can see them. And so I'm going to work on that in a minute. I saw a couple people just join, so if you would put in the comments where you're viewing this from, if you wish, and so I acknowledge that you are here. Anyhow, so this first person is the person that I did the web merge from. But I noticed that both of his parents and two children were also in that web merge. The parents are here and the children are here. There was a wife in my database, but the wife was not in the record that I brought in from Ancestry. And this is the record that this is the Find a Grave index from Ancestry. And his name, the father's name, mother's name, and two children's name. There's three children listed. I will probably address that during this recording. So let me get that out of the way. I have it on another screen, but I'm going to go to John, and I have, in fact, cleaned up most of the stuff from the merge, at least. I did the merge, brought in the information that came with the merge, and then I went earlier today, I went to the Find a Grave website and merged the information from the Find a Grave website and brought it into Family Tree Maker. Now, one of the things that I'm going to do is pick up that fact or this task that I did in fact complete, because I'm going to need that. That is what I did, that I got a hint from Ancestry for the Find a Grave index, and I merged it. But now what I want to do is clean up the father. So I clicked on his name there, and now I've got some work to do. This is the citation that came with the merge for his name. Now, what I'm going to do is put on the Family Tree Maker clipboard that citation, because if I add additional information about him, I want to cite it. The next thing that I'm going to do, which I did not do when I did the merge, is include what I did in the research notes. I did the Find a Grave index yesterday, so I added that to my research log. There was some stuff here that came with the file that I have not worked with, but that's okay. I will clean it up over time. But all I want to do today is clean up from the web merge that I did. Now, this name does not have a citation. I won't worry about that now. There's a report that I can run, and I do run, that will tell me if there's any undocumented facts in my database. The only ones I'm interested in today is from the Find a Grave index that I did the other day. And that is a citation. There is another citation here, and I will deal with that at another time. All I care about is this one. What I know is there is the same citation. So when I did the merge had the father's sex, which is fine. I go down here, and this information was brought in. Now, there's something wrong with this. One of my standards is that I want to include the word county where appropriate. Now, this place name has no icon in the right end of that, so this is an appropriate place name, but I want the word county here. Again, this is part of my cleanup, so I'm going to add the word county in the place name. And you notice that there's still nothing on the right-hand side that says that I really need to resolve that place name, because this is the appropriate place name. All I did was add the word county, and it came from the web merge that I did yesterday. Now, if I go to the next fact, it looks like that's the same place. The only difference is the fact has USA, or United States of America, as opposed to USA, but all of the other information is the same. So I really have a duplicate fact and duplicate citation. Now I'm going to right click on that second entry, and it says merge duplicate fax. So I'm going to select that. Now it says, what do you want to merge? And I want to merge the two of them. The only difference between the two pieces of information is USA versus United States of America. So I put a check mark in both. I click next. Now it's asking me which one. There's a difference. Which one do you want to keep? And I want to keep the one that says USA and not this one. and I click finish. And now you will see that it's merged, and now there's two citations on the right-hand side, which is correct. The one that I did, the one that was done before I did my merge. Now, the next fact is a burial fact that actually came in during the web merge. But the place name has this icon on the right-hand end which says there's something wrong, that I need to resolve the place name. So I'm going to click that, and it says East Hampton, Suffolk County, New York, USA versus United States of America. That's the same place, so I'm going to replace United States of America with USA. So I clicked USA, and what it says now is that there are 4 other facts that have this same place name. Do I want to change just this one, or do I want to change all 4? I'm going to have it change all 4: East Hampton, Suffolk County, New York, United States of America, and replace that with USA and click OK. So we took care of that. This birth date, I don't know where that information came from. So I don't have a citation. I'll pick that when I run the undocumented fact report. If you're watching, I'm cleaning up from a web merge that I did yesterday and one this morning. Please put in comments where you're watching this recording from, and whether you're attending RootsTech 2022, and if you're a user of Family Tree Maker. And I'll just share that my friend June, my June is from New England, and we've been friends for a long time. And I'm honored to be one of her friends. Going to the death date or death place, there's several citations, one of which came when I did the merge. Now, I already know that Manhattan, the way it came in from Ancestry has to be cleaned up. I demonstrated that a couple days ago. So I know that this is correct, and I'm going to click that, because what it's given me here is Manhattan, New York, New York, USA. So I can get rid of the Manhattan in parentheses. I'm going to do a search. Oops. I'm going to do a search. I must have done something wrong here. Manhattan, New York County, New York, USA. And replace it. Oh, I forgot the word county. So I'm going to put it in here. And what happened is that I already have this place name in my database. So that's how I know that that is the right place. The way the information was on Ancestry does not meet the standards. Their place names are all over the place. Again, I have the option of doing 9 other times this place name is being used, and the place name does not meet the standards. So I'm going to change all 9 of them and click OK. So what I have just done is cleaned up the information that I have for this profile, minus the facts that do not have citations. Now I could delete that because I don't know where it came from, but I don't want to. I want to come back and find another record that may have the information that I need. I could clean it up, but I am going to, I'm not going to clean it up except the data that came in with the merge that I did. So I just did the father, and now I'm going to do the mother. And I just changed the relationship up here. And now we get to the fun part. This is another piece of what I wanted to share with you. Now I have a name and no citation, so I don't know where that came from. But then I have duplicate names here, both of which do not meet my standard because the names are her married name, not maiden name. That is her maiden name, but I can't document that. But what I can take care of right here is that name is exactly the same. So I right click, merge duplicate fax, check both of them, not this one. I'm not going to merge these two with that one because it's different. Click next, and I'm going to make that name twice, both of which have citations. One of the citations is the one that I created yesterday. Now, but what I do want to do, because these two records are giving me her married name, so I'm going to add another name fact, and I'm going to call it, because those two citations did not give me her birth name, I'm going to put 5 underscores. 5 underscores to me, it's an indication that I don't know the maiden name. So I just entered that. I'm going to put the down arrow and I'm going to paste the citation from the Family Tree Maker clipboard and paste that's where that information came from. Now, because I don't know for sure, I have a choice. Do I want to let her maiden name be Sergeant, or do I want to make it 5 underscores? I'm going to leave the preferred as Sergeant because I believe that is in fact what it is. But what I'm documented here is that those two records gave me her married name. Now I can see that she is married to him, at least according to the database. So, but the record that I looked at has her married name. I'm just making an indication that this record did not tell me her birth surname. I had a conversation with somebody that says, you like your database to be clean or messy? I'll take messy. But if you were to find this tree on Ancestry, you would see exactly what I saw when I recorded it. Now, as I'm going through this, I'm going to clean up a couple of things and talk about how I handle my database. Now, the way I handle it may be different than you. But anytime I see a birth date, a death date, or a marriage date, if I don't have the full day, I put in the date field about. So rather than 16 or 1868, I say about 1868. No, this doesn't have a citation, but that's okay. I will clean that up with a different process. The other thing I need to do in the research field is make a notation that I brought some data in from the Find a Grave index. And when I see this down here, I will look for a citation that says the Find a Grave index, which I just showed you. Now I've got another couple records here that look exactly the same. That is not the one I brought in. This is the one I brought in when I did the merge. But I am going to first resolve that place name. Because I want county. I am looking at the data. Now, what is interesting is that Family Tree Maker is not finding that place name where when I do a search. It's giving me Brock County, but it's not saying that. So I'm going to leave this one as an unresolved place name. I will have to come back and fix that later, but that there's another report that I can run to see whether or not to resolve that place name. But what I can do is merge the duplicate fax. I'm not going to include that. Now, what's obvious to me right now is that I have conflicting information. I'll deal with that in a second. I'm going to merge those two facts, and I'm going to finish that. But I have conflicting information. I'm not going to try to resolve it today because I don't have enough records. All I'm doing, my task at hand, is to clean up this profile. So I am going to put this birthplace. And I have a category. If I don't, I will. I'm going to add a new category called conflicts. Conflicts. Category name. I'm going to put a check there. I'm going to click OK. When I use the task list, high priority is not involved with any person, but the file in general. The medium is for a profile. And when I complete a task, it will go to low and I'll put a check mark in completed. This one is a reminder to me that I have conflicting information in the birth fact. One record, and I don't know where that record came from yet, so I don't know what that looks like. This one is what Family Tree Maker gave me from the Ancestry Find a Grave Index, but the place name is wrong. I have a record that will tell me about the unresolved place name. I have a report that will tell me the undocumented facts. That's why I'm not putting either one of them as a test, because I have a report that will tell me that. When I did her husband, I resolved this place name, and that's where I got it from. When I did the resolve place name, I said all times that you see that to fix it, which it just did. So I don't have to do that one. The next two look the same, and this is another one that I think this was part of the 9 where I resolved the place name and resolved each time that it showed up. But here is 2 more facts. Now, the comment that I want to make is this file is a file that was given to me. Some of the names and the information that is in the file that I'm using is in the companion guide for Family Tree Maker. I'll show you where that is in a minute. I want to complete this task of merging. I want to merge those two facts. I'm going to leave this third one alone because it's different. So I click Next, and I'm going to merge those two facts. So I'm good. Now, I have conflicting information again. One says April 2nd, the other one says April 3rd. One is in Manhattan, the other's in Suffolk County. So I'm going to put conflicting information for birth date. So there's two pieces of conflicting information. The birth date, that should be death date. And death place. So I'm marking it so that I need to come back and look at this later. Now, since I have done conflicting information, I can see it here, but here's another place that I can see it. If I go to the plan workspace and just filter on certain tasks, that's where they locate. Now, I can start from here. I can start working on conflicting information from this screen. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But the reason why I do it this way is that I do all of the work that I do in this file, in this program, is from this workspace, the people workspace, the person view, because I have a complete view of what I have done and what I need to do. These are some stuff I need to do. I want to look over here in my research notes, and I just wanted to make sure that I had a research note when I merged the Find a Grave index. So I've done the husband, the wife, the person that I did the merge on, and what I have is 3 children. Let me just bring this back as a reminder. So these are the, I did the John, I did Maud. Now I have the 3 children to deal with. So what I navigated back to using the navigation bar at the top, I was over here, did these two, so I can navigate through the relationships right from the top of the screen that I'm looking at. So the next one I'm going to do is, there were 2 children, right? So there's an arrow, a down arrow, and there are the 2 children that were listed on the Find a Grave. Now, I said it again, is that the one child, the second child, was listed twice on that record. That's a record issue. But I know where the problem came from. It came from the Find a Grave website. So the index is correct. It indexed the Find a Grave website. The Find a Grave website has this one profile listed twice. So I'm going to pick the first person because I want to clean this one up. And like before, the record from the Find a Grave index has her married name and not her birth name. Now, I have in my database her birth name. It is marked preferred. And this is the record that was merged that was not correct. So I am going to right click and merge her name because it was listed twice with a married name. and I just merged that. But that's still not correct because these two didn't tell me her maiden name. And there's something else going on here, isn't there? Could she have been married twice? Because look at the name that's here. So what I'm going to do is create another name that is if I would learn to spell her first name. Let me go back and fix that. This record just has her two married names, does it not? So, but neither of them, neither of those citations gave me her birth surname, and I'm going to cite that because there's the citation that's in the Family Tree Maker clipboard. I don't have anything to change, but at some point in time, I should see two marriages down here, should I not? So, because that's where Onassis came from somewhere. But I don't want to forget. Oh, the first thing I want to do is update my research log. I'm going to put, was she married twice? That's just a question. Now I'm going to add another task called follow-up. I didn't have to think about that because that's what I've established in all of my files. So if I have questions as I go through, I'm going to put it in follow-up. I click OK and click OK. So I have a notation down here. Was she married twice? Those two look like two married names. So I'm going to go through, and here's another duplicate. So I'm going to merge these two facts. And I'm going to see, you notice that the place name has this box on the end, and I'm going to see if Family Tree Maker can find the correct name, and it has. Southampton, Suffolk County. I want the word county, New York. So I am going to, June, I'll get your question here in a second. I am going to update that place name, and I just did, and this question mark went away. So Jude's question, how do you handle a parent that is not married but has a child? I handle it exactly that way. What way is that? I make the indication that someone is married, was not married. And the way to do that is on the tree view and this icon where there's two people. And that's not what I wanted to do. Oh, that's when they were married. I have to change the status. relationship. I know I went to the wrong place. If I question the relationship between the female and the male, like the parents, I go to the relationships tab and make the change here. Mother, father, spouse ongoing. I have choices. Partner, friend, single, other, private. So that is where I would make the change for the relationship between the mother and the father. The relationships tab, go to the relationship. It says spouses and children. There's the spouse, and I can make the change here. I hope that answers your question. There's more than one way to do a lot of stuff, but that is how I would do that. Hope that answers your question, June, and thank you for the question. The other three people that are watching, please let me know where you're viewing from in the chat. If you care to, put a thumbs up. Also, please read the description of this recording because it's very important that some friends of mine, the developers of this program, live in the Ukraine, and we need to keep them in our thoughts and prayers. Normally, what's behind me on the screen is my booth at RootsTech. For a number of years, I'm there virtually on the screen, but normally my friends from the Ukraine would be somewhere in the booth behind me or walking around or talking to me. So anyhow, please read the description of this recording. So what else do I need to do? I took care of the birth information, the burial information. Has the United States of America, which is not correct. It's in Arlington County, Virginia, USA. So I got rid of that place name. This place name is correct. That place name is correct. That place name is correct. I'm going to let these other two items go for the moment because there's a lot of work that needs to be done. You're welcome, June. And let me see, that's Jacqueline. And I go back because I need to look at the other child. What's nice about Family Tree Maker and the merge, it did not bring the same name in twice. So we're good. I'm in a learning mode. No questions. Statesman, if you look at what's scrolling below here in blue, that is a blog. It's my blog. I think there's a link in the description of this recording, and the blog is about Family Tree Maker. Your Genealogy TV seems to me you are on Facebook and have a channel yourself. So thank you for being here. Again, if you have any questions, please let me know. I'm going to continue cleaning up my merging that I did. Yesterday, I merged an index from Ancestry in the Find a Grave index. This morning, I thought so. I see your face a lot on Facebook. It says you're getting ready to do stuff. I follow you as I am able. So anyhow, let me get back to what I was doing, my research log that I didn't do earlier, that I want to make sure that I do. So let me see what's here. The preferred name is her father's name. This must mean that she was married. That's an assumption, but this name is here twice, so I'm going to, that's how I just realized how Family Tree Maker brought her name in twice. Is that it listed it twice, but I'm going to merge it. just looking to make sure wasn't a spelling error that I missed. And no, there's no spelling differences between the two. Now, something that I do that probably nobody else does, but I do because this has given me a hint that she is married, but it says no spouse. So what I'm going to do is click on add spouse, and I'm going to put 5 underscores. I don't know his first name, but I know his last name. Now, the reason why I do this is so that I can uh, get hints. I work off of hints, and this is going to give me a hint if there's a record out there. So I have just added him. I'm going to paste a citation to where I got the information from. I'm going to put a research note, and I'm going to add a task. I'm going to click new, and I'm going to put that reference note or research note because I want to know where I got a profile from. I just created this new profile. I want to know where I got the profile from. I got it from Find a Grave yesterday. Now I selected profile. I completed it. So I move it from the green, which is got to fix it, to low. I completed it. So I click OK. It's here, but I know when I brought this profile in and where I got it from. I don't know anything more about this person, but I'm going to just click over to the tree for a second, but I'm not going to see his name because I have a filter on. I'm going to get rid of the filter, and at some point in time, I'm going to get a hint that shows up either from Ancestry or find a hint from Family Search. I already got a hint now from Lee, so there's a hint out for her. If I'm not going to go through it today. The only thing that I'm doing today in this recording is cleaning up from a merge that I did yesterday and this morning. I normally would clean it up at the time that I do the merge right away. The only thing I did in recording yesterday was move the source information that I got from Ancestry and moved it into evidence explained format. If you want to know what that's all about, look at one of the earlier recordings for Roots Tech. I see somebody else has joined on YouTube. Let me know where you're watching from. I have some friends here and another person who does a lot of recording, Genealogy TV. She's on Facebook, and I'm guessing that June knows her. And June, you on YouTube have an advantage of seeing some of the names that I don't see yet. So please let me know where you're watching from, and if you're a user of Family Tree Maker, or if you um, are at Roots Tech. Learn the YouTube or the 5 underscore trick from you. Alert me to research it. Yep, I've talked about that's how I handle this stuff. So, yeah, thank you, June, and I do thank you for your comments. So let me get rid of that and get back to my cleanup. So I was on Lee, and I'm going back to Lee and North Carolina. I have friends down there, and thank you for watching. I'm Mike near Niagara Falls. I appreciate you watching. He's been here many times before today, so I appreciate that. What I see to clean up for here, let me just make sure that I did my research notes. I see some duplicate information here. The duplicate, uh, I believe some of the duplication came from the file that I got that I am cleaning up, and some from the merge. Those are the same information, and it says there's no conflicting between the two facts, so I don't have to go through the screens that I went through before when the information was different, but both of those are exactly the same. So I said, okay, I'm going to try that for this next one. I'm right clicking, merge duplicate, same thing. So this is working as it should. Remember the merge of duplicate information that I saw earlier? There was different pieces of information before. Merge duplicate information. And I am. So if I look at my notes that I wrote for doing this recording, I have in fact cleaned up, or I had documented and cleaned up from the merge that I did before. There's a lot of cleanup that I need to do on this in this file. I'm not going to do that here. But what I wanted to demonstrate over the past 3 recordings is getting information from uh, a record group on Ancestry, the Find a Grave Index record. This morning I brought in information. I did a web merge using the web clipper feature of Family Tree Maker to bring the data from the Find a Grave website, bring it into Family Tree Maker, and now I just cleaned up the merge. I will pause for a minute. You were earlier. Thank you for being here from Kansas. I appreciate you being here. Using Family Tree Maker since 2012. Well, that's awesome. I hope you enjoy it. And in the scroll below, you will see my blog, and I believe I put the blog in the comments. I'll hold on for a second. Thank you, Mike. If there's any, hold on before I drop off or end this broadcast. If there's any questions, I'll be happy to try to answer it. I will try to go live a couple of times tomorrow, as I have today. I may even go live a little bit later on. There's a couple things that I have been thinking about that I want to demonstrate. And I'm trying to keep my recordings to under an hour, but I don't want to take a topic and cut it short. I'm glad you said that. Here is exactly why, and I have the file to show why 5 underscores. First of all, the 5 underscores do not impede the search engine to give me hints. I always want to do everything I can do to bring in hints. 5 underscores, I have proven that if I don't know the name first or last, I use 5 underscores. I'm going to give you an example, not with your specific in parentheses. This file has a group of people that are listed as living. And living to me is not helpful. I tried the parentheses. That does the same thing as living does for me. I changed to 5 underscores for the search engine, but they also should, oops, let me get my cursor back and get rid of that. I should start seeing some 5 underscores, but I don't have any. I know everybody's first name. Let me get down here to Lee. Oh, there it is. There's the name that is 5 underscores in the index. So it sticks out to me as opposed to something like living, which is down here, or the parentheses. You can do what you want. You can keep doing what you did. I'm just sharing with you, and I think June will agree with me. Because she says that the underscores works better for hints. I have tested the 5 underscores and done all the other things that people have done, like brackets or unknown or living. They don't work for me. 5 underscores do, because the 5 underscores tells me I don't have to. I just look at my screen. I say I don't know that person's first name. And what fact, since you said that, what I am going to do is go to that profile. Now I can look at the father's name, so I know what this is, but I am going to change living to 5 underscores. I just changed the name, and there it is. It pops out at me that I don't know that name. So one of the things that will do with this file is change all of the living. Now you see that I did something different. I just selected that, it popped over here. So I'm going to go 1, 2, oops, space. Now what I'm going to do is capture that in my Windows clipboard. Remember, Family Tree Maker has a clipboard, Windows has a clipboard. So now I'm going to change the living 5 underscores. To me, the visual is that I don't know the name as opposed to living. Uh, Let me see. Statesman says that's a good answer for me now. Thanks. You're welcome. Uh, so, what I will do, and I won't bore you all with me doing it now, but I'm going to go through all of the profiles that are using the word living and change them to 5 underscores. Okay, thanks, Mike, for mentioning the like button. I appreciate that, and I appreciate your comments. Again, I plan on going live probably twice tomorrow, maybe more. Depends on what the schedule works like. I hope you're enjoying RootsTech and all of the offerings that's being offered for free. Uh, and please watch some of the programs that are available. And Family Tree Maker has a page on the exhibit hall, so please visit that as you're able. Uh, and if you see this in the recording, just post where you're watching from. And I would appreciate that. And also look at the comments for a little bit of information about the folks that developed the Family Tree Maker program, because they do live in the Ukraine. I have had confirmation that they are well, but we need to keep them in our thoughts and prayers. Okay, that's all for today. I may do another recording later tonight, but that's beside the point. Thank you, and have a great day.